I would link it in some ways to how I would like to see this area change, so haptics change. So one of the things is I like to see better hardware, okay? So ultimately I'd like to have a very effective whole hand device. So you could do, at the minute this is just using one point of contact, this device. And there are whole hand devices, but to have something that's affordable and produces the same kind of sensations as this. So probably somebody who's, high up in a haptics hardware company. Who else? I suppose another area I'd like to see the whole 3D and the extra sense of touch or haptics coming in would be perhaps in school education. Because I think there's potential to, people who perhaps like to learn by doing and experiencing things in 3D. If somebody who makes decisions about school education could come and see this and discuss its potential in school education, not just higher education and postgraduate training. I suppose people who might, perhaps think outside the box a little bit about the potential of these kind of technologies. We do quite a lot of workshops with schools, and we set them a task to innovate with the technology, and they come up with some great ideas. So I probably have a young person, maybe somebody at perhaps Key Stage 3 or something who, could be there to say, oh, why don't you use 3D for this? It would make such a difference to my learning, or, it would solve this particular issue. And then, I guess, a member of the public, because again, from my experience with this, the public, when they experience 3D, they go, wow, and I think have somebody there who might think outside the box, come up with, challenge the panel or the other members of this discussion. Yeah, you never know what sort of, the public or young people are going to come up with as ideas, and a lot of the ideas do come from them. I'm Sarah Baillie, a senior lecturer at the Royal Veterinary College, a vet who retrained in computing science, came in contact with 3D through haptics, which is touch technology. So 3D for me is about creating three-dimensional, touchable environments in a particular context of veterinary medicine, cows and horses. There is really, the limits to using this are time, money and our imagination, because I think it's got great potential. It's, our traditional learning and experience of computers is visual, auditory, two-dimensional. This technology allows you to bring in the sense of touch and also to add a very tangible third dimension to it. It can go places in veterinary and medical training, it can go places in other areas of innovation, games industry, there's great potential to add 3D and extra features other than just seeing what you do but feeling what you do. So I think there's great potential. I mean, the list is actually quite long and I won't bore you with it, but it's getting over the limitations, which are time, funding and your imagination, I think. For 3D in this field, there are some really interesting sort of new advances. So for example, you can now superimpose graphics onto the haptics. So instead of having the monitors here and the simulation is there, you can have a semi-transparent mirror which will, if you have the monitor up here, you can project the image over your hand, so it actually looks as though what you're doing is where your hands are. And there's some innovative work being done by University of Reading and King's Haptel, which is doing this for dentistry. Similarly, I think in medicine, for surgical training and so on, there's 3D can really add something to training. I suppose other experiences I've had of 3D, I particularly like some of the cave environments where you're inside and the images are projected onto screens all around you, and you're wearing goggles such that you actually look like you're moving through a 3D environment, and I've found those quite sort of mind-blowing as well.